The 5th chapter of Two Blue Vortex has unveiled the deadly plan of Shinjus, which has even frightened Eida. The crescent-shaped Dojutsu senrigan is completely useless against the new enemies, and maybe the only way to deal with their dark plans is the Jougan. So how likely is it for Boruto's pure eye to awaken against the new enemies? And what are the other details of this chapter which could act as a major foreshadowing? Let's find out. This chapter mainly revolves around 6 major events, with each one of them teasing something huge for the future of the series. Starting off with the flashback sequence, which had been released earlier by the official Naruto website. While there were many debates going on whether this whole volume will take place in the past, or if only a few panels will cover the flashback, the way Kishimoto has unveiled the past events is pretty interesting. The chapter took us straight to 13-year-old Boruto's Genjutsu practice with Sasuke. He can be seen surrounded with bamboo trees, engaged in cutting them as the part of his training. This pretty much makes it clear that most of the sword fighting skills utilized by Boruto were taught to him by Sasuke and not Kashin Koji. However, this chapter also confirms the Usuhiko Rasengan and Flying Thunder God were learned by Boruto under the wing of Jiraiya's clone. This makes me wonder that how did Koji have access to all such abilities? Well, the Amado part of this chapter has teased something big about Koji, so stay tuned till we get there. Back to the chapter, Boruto jokingly tells Sasuke that he must have already mastered the Uchiha style, to which he gets a shocking reply that there is nothing left to teach him beyond this point. Boruto thought Sasuke might have taken his joke seriously, but the Uchiha tells him that he's a talented prodigy whom he sees as a genius. He's a fast learner and picks up new concepts like a sponge. Sasuke from his side has completed his job of teaching him everything that he could. Now it's on Boruto to enhance both his mental fortitude and techniques with the passage of time. Well, there is a lot that can be understood from this statement of Sasuke. He emphasized on Boruto having to master everything by himself, and this discussion took place sometime before they battled Code. This means over 2 years have passed since Sasuke had completed his resolve of training Boruto. And now that we know how powerful he has gotten, it's safe to say that he has mastered all the powers and abilities of his sensei as of the recent events. Think about it. He trained with Koji for 2 years and was able to master a planet-shaking technique called Usuhiko. The reason he isn't as skillful as Minato at using the Flying Thunder God is because he didn't learn it from him directly. But in case of Sasuke, he received a fulfilling training for an entire year, and looking at his expertise in handling Usuhiko, I believe he has mastered every technique of Sasuke by this point. Coming back to the manga, we get to know that the effects of omnipotence are still strict on Sasuke as he compares Boruto with Naruto. It's crazy how the divine spell has made people lose the ability to recognize Boruto even though he looks so similar to the 7th Hokage. This proves that how strong the divine spell actually is. Even the most obvious contradictions are getting overlooked by everyone, making Boruto's life a living nightmare. Sasuke tells him that Naruto corrected him when he was on the wrong path and he has got the same eyes as him. He then talks about his gut feeling which made him take Boruto under his wing at first place. Now this gut feeling that Sasuke mentioned has foreshadowed something solid for the future of the series. As he talks about why Sarada's request to save Boruto makes so much sense now, he further adds his instincts are telling him that there is something wrong with the world that only Boruto and Sarada can fix. And this is when things get exciting. I have discussed how Sarada is the sun who's illuminating Boruto during his dark time. This statement of Sasuke proves that they both will play some important role in the plot simultaneously, making Sarada the equivalent of Sasuke from the original series. Maybe the joint venture of them both will lead to omnipotence getting exposed, and here is why. Sarada has been rebellious to Shikamaru for not listening to what Boruto has to say. This peer pressure from her side must have made the Hokage take her request into consideration, especially after Amado revealed in this chapter that a part of his memory has been rewritten. The Hokage could be seen concerned upon hearing this, and maybe he will give a chance to Boruto for proving his innocence. Upon hearing about omnipotence and connecting it to the theory of Amado, it's very likely that Konoha will go against Kawaki. That will make him exterminate the shinobi age. Well, back to the chapter, we are taken a bit forward in time, with Sasuke and Boruto fighting Code and his army. It has been confirmed that Sasuke was the one who destroyed the Eye of Code. However, shortly after he gets devoured by a claw grime and turns into a tree, he entrusted Sarada to Boruto as his final testimony, and then we get to see him turn into a tree. Boruto takes his sword and assures him that he will get everything handled. The long hair of Boruto has made him look like Madara Uchiha, possibly symbolizing his will to bring a revolution. While Madara wanted to put everyone in the state of infinite Tsukuyomi, Boruto wants to get everyone out of a similar spell. There are a few things about the Sasuke's tree panel which are pretty confusing to me. Firstly, why did Code disappear after Sasuke turned into a tree? He had had the perfect chance to kill Boruto, but he didn't. Well, it could be that Code ran away by leaving Sasuke in the hands of the Grimes, only because he had furiously killed most of his battalion. Or it could be that upon seeing him transform into a tree, Code got panicked and decided to retreat. The final possibility says this battle took place at daytime, and Boruto pulled back right when Sasuke asked him to do so. As we can see, there is a moon in the sky above the tree panel. It could be that Boruto returned later to see Sasuke turn into a tree, and took his sword as a final memento. Talking about trees, we are then shown Moegi, who had been a victim of Claw Grimes as well. This means the female Shinju is indeed her Ten-Tails avatar, and the reunion of Konohamaru and Team 10 was done really keenly by Kishimoto. While it will indeed provide them some huge plot relevance, since the clone of Moegi wants to devour Konohamaru, which means Team 10 will also get involved in the conflict. The removal of Moegi from the story and the disintegration of Team 7 will make Konohamaru the sensei of Team 10. This is pretty interesting because the Sarutobi clan is known to have a notable history with Inoshikacho trio, serving as their guide and mentor for generations. This generational practice was broken by Konohamaru just because he aligned with the son of Naruto more. However, as said by Ishiki, destiny is pre-written by genes. A Sarutobi will again become the master of Inoshikacho very soon. Moving on to the strong feeling of vengeance and resentment that have been expressed by Team 10 and Konohamaru, I really doubt that they will be able to do anything against the Shinju lady for very obvious reasons. The power gap is way too high, which means the hand-to-hand combat will only result in the death of all four of them. However, the Shinjus are known to have human sentiments just because it's a part of their existence. So an emotional angle could really give Konohamaru and his team an upper hand against the enemy. But I think with the introduction of Shinjus, Kishimoto wants to revamp the roles of villains in his story. As we know, every antagonist in Naruto was just a good guy on the wrong path. But Boruto's villains are different. Their only purpose is destruction, and so is the case with the living divine trees. It's very likely for them to be successful in their plan of devouring their victims unless some miracle happens that we will discuss very soon. Coming on to the conversation of the Shinjus in the manga, we get to know that they all are biologically a part of the Ten-Tails, but each of them have a different personality, emotions and feelings of their own. The name of Moegi's clone is Matsuri, which has been derived from her last name Kata Matsuri. The Alfredo Shinju is revealed to be Jura, and there are some interesting theories on his name and identity that we will discuss in another video. Sasuke's clone is named Hidari, literally meaning the left-handed man. Back to the chapter, the Shinju seem to have an instinct which tells them whom they need to devour for some unknown reasons. The best possible explanation could be they are going after people who were really close to their human counterparts. Jura picks Naruto, Matsuri goes with Konohamaru, Hidari chooses Sarada, and the bug Shinju goes for Eida, who was looking at them with her senrigan. While the mystery of Jura calling out Naruto is really messed up, the Shinju bypassing Aida's clairvoyance could only mean one thing. They have the power to counter or evade Shinjutsu abilities, cause they were a medium of creating such powers at first place. So if the Otsutsuki powers are a total waste against them, the only way to deal with them must be the pure eye Jougan, and here is why I think so. Normally a Ten-Tails turns into a divine tree after consuming an Otsutsuki. However, the modification of Code's claw marks made this species awaken consciousness and intellect of their own. In other words, the claw marks evolved the Ten-Tails from a pure state into an impure state. And to reverse this whole evolution, Boruto will require an 100% pure power, which is beyond Otsutsuki's to deal with them. Assuming the claw marks of Code had the DNA of Shibai Otsutsuki in impure state, the only way to reverse the Shinju to their original form must be the pure eye of the Otsutsuki god. The reason I call the claw marks an impure medium of Shibai's DNA is because it had been artificially modified by Amado. The Jougan must be the only hope for Boruto to reverse his destiny, and the creation of the Shinjus have enhanced this possibility. Talking about the close relations that the Shinju shared with their victims, Matsuri going after Konohamaru makes sense cause she was his lifelong teammate and maybe even a potential romantic partner. While I personally wanted Konohamaru to end up with Hanabi, but this twist in the story has reduced the chances of that ship. Hidari goes for Sarada, the daughter of Sasuke, which means a parent-child clash is about to happen in the story very soon. Boruto being with Sarada would make this a lot more interesting cause he's literally going against his beloved master. Even Bug has spent a lot of time with Eida at Boro's place, which adds sense to his will of consuming her. Now that Eida has finally got a threat by someone, we can see Daemon in action against a worthy opponent. It was even foreshadowed when he was introduced, as he talked about protecting his sister from the Otsutsukis or someone else. It was a reference to the Ten-Tails imitation of Bug, and it will be interesting to see how Daemon will perform against him. Furthermore, the cyborg siblings and the Shinjus could have some history with each other, which might get unveiled later earlier in the story. Shout out to Marcel Pai on Twitter for this amazing theory that I'm about to tell you guys. Apparently, the outfit symbols of Eida, Daemon and Shinjus have real-life counterparts that are connected to each other. The crescent symbol from Eida's senrigan is called the awaken, the god of North Star. The second symbol from the Shinjus attire is called the patron of Chiba clan and was converted into a Shinto shrine. The last symbol appears on Daemon's jacket, which is known as Genbu, the guardian deity of the North Star. This makes one thing clear that Daemon is about to protect his sister from the Shinju's attack. But what if he dies while fulfilling his duty? I will do my own research on these symbols to find something interesting, so don't forget to subscribe to not miss that. Also, I have linked the Twitter of this guy in the description. He's doing an amazing job with the theories, so don't forget to check him out too. So now we are left with Amado's genius comprehension and the heartwarming Borusara moment. But what if I told you we are about to witness a W moment from Shikamaru very soon that will bring him back his title of Konoha's genius? Amado explains how he realizes his memories have been tampered only because the karma of Akebi is being used by Kawaki and not Boruto. He even knows that Kawaki's body has been modified by him, but he doesn't remember any such event in his memory lane. So basically he was able to figure out the aftermath of omnipotence as he identifies his alteration, just like how an artist validates his art. I believe Amado might even be able to figure out the alliance between Boruto and Koji, and here is why. All the intel that Koji has about the Osutsukis and other jutsus must be passed down to him by Amado, or it could even be that the scientist programmed Koji to have the knowledge of such techniques. The Uzuhiko Rasengan, for example, could have been preordained by Amado in the mind of Koji, which is how he was able to teach it to Boruto. So if he sees Boruto using the Uzuhiko, he will instantly realize Koji has been working with him. This statement of Amado was even heard by Shikamaru, whose expressions hint at something interesting. What if Shikamaru had figured out the inconsistencies with the timeline way before anyone, and the only reason he's acting like he has no clue about it is to keep himself safe? Think about it. If he agrees to Sarada and acknowledges history has been tampered, Eida will instantly catch him, and Kawaki could even kill him for it. Maybe that's why he's playing smart at this moment, and once the right time comes, he will reveal all his observations that will shock everyone. It could be that he's waiting for Boruto to side by him in order to protect himself from Kawaki, who could kill anyone that comes in between his plan. The plan to kill Boruto cause he is an Otsutsuki. Back to the manga, Sumire informs the intel of Amado to Sarada, and then they start discussing how everyone denies Boruto as Naruto's son, even after seeing their family photos. Sarada says that Sasuke was the only one who believed in the innocence of Boruto, and suddenly the young lord appears from behind, thanking Sarada and her father. We then get to see a Borusara moment with Sarada embracing Boruto in front of Sumire, and this puts a full stop to all the Borusumi theories. Sumire is kinda getting the same treatment as Naruto in the name of love, but we can't deny the fact that Sarada has done a lot for Boruto. She literally went in front of Kawaki to save him and was ready to sacrifice her life. Her Mangekyo Sharingan awakened because of Boruto, and she turned around the prophecy of Momoshiki to help him escape. The relentless efforts of proving Boruto innocent are also worth mentioning, and my next video is all about the Mangekyo power of Sarada, so subscribe to not miss it.